This is Trend Following Radio, where great thinking comes alive. Nobel Prize winners, legendary traders, best-selling authors, and the pros that know what drive us irrational human beings. I am your host, Michael Covel. Not filtered, raw, honest. That's my passion. My guests have been awesome recently. I feel like a kid in a candy store. Seriously, let me go over this list. This is just a small sampling of the people that have appeared on my podcast in the last few months. James Altucher, Steve Burns, Gerald Celente, Dan Andrews, Tim Price, Dylan Evans talking risk intelligence, Richard Noble driving a car way too fast, Yaron Brook, Harry Benswanger, the objectivist angle, Eric Crittenden talking about systems, Ryan Holiday just being wise as a young man, Larry Williams, Brad Rotter, two guys with experience going back decades in the trading space, Charles Faulkner, my old friend. What great insights about money. Gerd Gigenrenzer. Heuristics. Awesome. My most recent guest, Dan Ariely, Duke professor, behavioral economist. Dan is a wise guy. Really enjoyed that podcast. I'm not even sure what all these voices are doing to me. It's this osmosis process, right? What a lucky, and look, you're the audience, you get to hear as well. We have the chance to be educated. We have a chance to learn from some of the best minds, frankly, on the planet. Not that they were necessarily only born with it. They work hard. They study. They engage. They passionately dive into these subject areas, which of course all either directly relate or tangentially relate to my world of trend following, of systematic trading, of looking for the black swan. Oh, Mike, what are you looking for the black swan for? America's having an industrial revolution. Stock market's straight up. Well, sure, the stock market's straight up. There's nothing wrong with being long. It's a great plan, actually, as long as you have an exit strategy. Of course, the vast majority of people that are long equities have no exit plan. And when the Grim Reaper shows, as we know, the Grim Reaper always shows when markets get a little lofty, there will be blood in the street. Speaking of blood in the street, I watched a hawk the other day. Just true, I've got video of this, so I'll have to post the video. It swooped down and it nailed this chicken, very large chicken, bigger than the hawk. I mean, the hawk's wingspan was bigger than the chicken's, but the body wasn't. Nailed this chicken in the head, killed it. So I go out with my iPhone just to start, I want to capture the video. And this poor hawk, he's got this thing and he's trying to get it off the ground. And he can only get this chicken he's just killed about 3 inches off the ground. And he's trying to basically pull it off the ground and jump away from me as I'm trying to film the video. And he's just looking at me going, dude, leave me alone. I've got to haul this chicken off and you're bothering me. I'm not really sure what the story aims for exactly, but it's interesting to watch a beast come down from the air, kill another beast on the ground, and not be able to finish the job. Let me get back to my guests. As I mentioned, my most recent guest was Dan Ariely, Duke University professor, behavioral economics. Let me quote Dan. This was from a TED speech that he gave. Quote, "And I think that in the Industrial Revolution, Adam Smith was more correct than Karl Marx. But the reality is that we've switched, and now we're in the knowledge economy. And you can ask yourself, what happens in a knowledge economy? Is efficiency still more important than meaning? I think the answer is no. I think that as we move to situations in which people have to decide on their own about how much effort, attention, caring, how connected they feel to it, are they thinking about labor on the way to work and in the shower and so on? All of a sudden, Marx has more things to say to us. So when we think about labor, we usually think about motivation and payment as the same thing. But the reality is that we should probably add all kinds of things to it. Meaning, creation, challenges, ownership, identity, pride, etc. And the good news is that if we added all of those components and thought about them, how do we create our own meaning, pride, motivation, and how do we do it in our workplace and for the employees? I think we could get more people to be both more productive and happier. End quote. Well, of course, I hate words like employee and I hate words like workplace, but I think Dan is spot on. He is spot on. It's about finding some type of meaning. Look, I love the world that I'm in. I get to interact with great people. If I am just wandering around, so to speak, intellectually, absorbing information, and I spot a name, oh, that individual looks interesting, I'm able to reach out and have that person on the podcast, not only to educate me, but to educate you. This is the kind of passion that I love. Look, trading is fantastic. It's great. But look, what do you do as a trend following trader? Really? You can't make it exciting. You can make the challenge of establishing your system. I mean, that's an awesome excitement. Figuring it out, learning trend following trading. I've seen many clients of mine, they learn trend following trading. That's exciting. But once you have it, there's no day-to-day information flow that's useful. That's over. And what's amazing, this need for information that people have, they think they need all of this information to make great decisions, to make market decisions. And there's literally no evidence for this. Go listen to my Dan Ariely podcast. Go listen to my Gerd Gigenrenzer podcast. There is too much information. So how do you make good decisions in the face of so much information? Once again, something simple. Price movement. The price moves. The market moves. The market, whatever market we're talking about, moves from 5 to 10. There is some momentum. Get on board. Well, Mike, how do I know it's going to go up further? You really don't, but things in motion tend to stay in motion. It goes from 5 to 10. You get on at 10. It goes to 13. It goes back to 8. Maybe you get stopped out. So what? You're not in this for only one trade. You're in this to have a system and a process that allows you to have a portfolio perspective. If you are in this for a one-hit wonder, you will go broke. It won't happen. Oh, yes, there's always going to be somebody that wins the lottery. There's always going to be the hedge fund manager that says he sits at a table with 20,000 screens in front of him and that he's super successful. There's always going to be the Warren Buffett positioned by the media as the buy and hold champion, the value champion. Of course, it only takes a modicum of effort to dig in and realize that Warren Buffett is none of that. I've said this in my podcast throughout the year. I salute Warren Buffett, a fantastic entrepreneur, deserves all of the success, all of the accolades he gets. He just doesn't make the money as he has been positioned making the money. He makes it in a different way. It's up to you to investigate, to hear my words and say, oh, what is this guy Covel talking about? I read all the value books. What's he talking about? That's Warren Buffett. What is Covel doing talking about something as sacred as the reputation of Warren Buffett? Who is this guy Covel? He's just a guy. He's not as rich as Warren Buffett. How dare him take a shot at my leader? How dare him take a shot at my idol, my hero? Now remember, a few seconds ago, I just heaped praise on Warren Buffett. My simple point is, he doesn't make the money like he says. Back to my points with Dan Ariely and Gerd Gigenrenzer. Especially Gerd. Simple heuristics. And back to my point about not taking all of your day glued to a screen. Trade the price action. End of day price. End of week price. All of the machinations that go on. All of the information overload. The nonstop data. The cell phone attached to your hip. And look, I'm guilty of it to some degree. I look at many of these devices as a way to connect. But I don't look at these devices as a way to take in information going, the more information I take in, the better I will do, the more money I will make. No. In fact, we are in a land of distraction. In a land of distraction, where can you go? Where can you go in a land of distraction? Many people thought for 2013 I was on a trip, a journey. No, I was not. I was just living, helping clients, doing my podcast, just living. Nomadically, a nomad. Can there be any greater frame of mind to succeed, to adapt, than to be a nomad? No fixed fortifications, no monuments. Just go. Go where the flow is. Back to the opening of this podcast with Iggy singing about being a passenger. A passenger, a nomad, a trend. You just get on board. People ask me, they say, Mike, what's your plan? Well, my plan is to be on board. My plan is to go. Well, Mike, where do you want to live? I am living. Where are you going next, Mike? I'm on board, remember? I'm a passenger. If you think about it, we all worry about too many things that are irrelevant. My greatest lesson that I learned in 2013 and being in a lot of different countries, it's the people. The places that I found most fascinating are where the people were most engaging. Yes, you could go many places around this world with fantastic scenery, and the people are duller than a box of rocks. Sometimes you could end up in a little edgier place, and the people bring it alive. That's fun for me. I do want to bring up something that I want to pull together in 2014, a trend following conference. If you're interested, email me. My email is really simple, michael@covel.com. It would be in Singapore. And yes, if you're sitting in America right now and you've just heard me talk about a trend following conference in Singapore and you just deep sixed it, shame on you. Get up, get on a plane and go. And if you can't make the date, I'll meet you somewhere for lunch. Let's make this an engaging year. Let's get a community established with even tighter knit functionality. This is what I want to do. Yeah. We're all going to make some money. Okay. We have our businesses. We're entrepreneurs. We have the trading. Great. We're going to make some money. I'm going to continue to help clients. Great. I love doing that. Let's add something new to it this year. Let's add something big to it. Second half of the year in Singapore. As we head into December 25th, I want to wish everyone a happy holidays, a Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year. I will try to get one more podcast up before the new year, but a slight break for me. And I cannot wait to see all of the fantastic guests that will appear in 2014 on my podcast. The list is already adding up. I've already scheduled a ton of people for January. So it's a nonstop rat race, so to speak, of the Covel podcast. I see a time when those awake will understand how to make money in up, down, and surprise markets. Whether new trader or experienced, college student or financial advisor, protecting against a crash or just trying to make a lot of money, trend following offers everyone an answer in uncertain times. To get started immediately, send me an email, michael@covel.com. I will send you the right trend following steps to take along with my free video.
But if you want to buy and hold, trust the government and trust Wall Street, this is absolutely not for you.